Hi, guys. Welcome back. Sometimes we don't have trouble losing weight. Sometimes we have trouble losing that last 5 or 10 pounds of weight. Today, we're going to visit with Karen from Karen-esque, and she's going to talk about how she's struggling to lose 50 pounds, or at least the last couple pounds of the 50-pound goal.
Today is October 1st, which means it's been exactly 1 year since I started losing weight. For the 5,000th time, but that's a minor detail. However, what's different about this time is that I ended up in the hospital, had a spinal fusion, and went through recovery for 98% of the year. I just woke up, which is why I look absolutely crazy right now. But anyway, I have learned so much over the past several years through my feelings. That's right. I have been trying to lose weight many times over the years, and I've had some successes, but then I would always, give up, gain weight, the cycle would continue. So this is the first time that I'm just so determined to do everything right because I finally learned what I need to do. I finally learned about myself and how I was holding myself back. With that said, for today, my hope was to lose 50 pounds by today. Do I think I did it? Not really, because I'm in the middle of my period.
Thanks, buddy.
But I do think I'm close. Let's go see. Dun dun dun, just as I predicted. Yeah, thanks, bloating. What's up and welcome back to my channel. Unless you're new, then welcome. My name is Karen, and as you can see, I am close to losing 50 pounds for the first time in my life since I started actively losing weight, which was many years ago.
It's been 84 years.
The journey that I'm on now started 1 year ago, October 1st, 2022, and my starting weight was 316 pounds. However, unlike most people, I also contended with going to the hospital. I ended up in the hospital, had major spinal surgery, so I had to recover from a spinal fusion over the past year, and I was also working on losing weight. That combination, it was tough, not gonna lie. These days, I don't weigh myself as much as you're seeing here. I'm just doing this to show what weight loss looks like for me, and that losing weight is not dictated by a deadline. There was a time where I weighed myself every single day as an experiment to break my emotional attachment to the scale. I was following Jordan's site at the time, and he advocated for not being afraid of the scale and only using it as data. And it worked. Now it's not going to work for everybody depending where you're at emotionally and mentally, but for me, it helped me understand the scale and my weight better. Fluctuation is normal, and the scale going up can be attributed to factors other than fat gain, but also recognizing fat gain, as well as looking at progress month to month instead of week to week. Being so close to losing 50 pounds, I'm not doing anything excessive or restrictive to reach this milestone because I have a long time history with compulsive overeating and emotional binge eating. So everything I've been doing the past year has been slow and consistent on purpose to ensure this is something I can stick to for a long time. Because as you can see, I've still got more fat to lose beyond 50 pounds.
So first off, she's doing so good. What a trooper, to lose 50 pounds. And like she said, she still needs to lose some more. And even if she's a couple pounds from 50, we're still going to give her credit for 50, right? She still needs to lose a couple more pounds. But you can just tell there's a glow about her. She seems really happy. Whenever you guys are plateauing or whenever you're trying to hit a goal and you're not quite there, that's not the time to give up. That's the time to employ some patience.
Today is October 10th. Let's see what the scale says. Oh, jeez. This is the fun that I get to have throughout the month. A normal person would have reached 266 pounds by now. Me, I gotta be different. It's never straight and simple for me. It's never, oh, you lose this much 1 week and then the next. It's weight stays the same or it fluctuates, and then all of a sudden at the end of the month, boom, drop. There was a point where I actually thought I was doing something wrong with my weight loss because I would look at other people who were losing weight and they would show their progress week to week, but I never had that. My weight was—
Guys, I had to stop that too. There's something magical about YouTubers. Apparently, they're able to lose weight like crazy every day and every week. I'm more human. It takes me a couple of months to lose anything. If you're like me and you need a long time to lose a little weight, Put it in the comments. If you're like these YouTubers and you can lose 10 or 15 pounds each and every month, let me know in the comments.
It would go up 1, 2, or 3 pounds and then fluctuate between those same couple pounds, up and down, or it would just stay the same. And then at the end of the month, I would see a significant drop. Or if it was too late in the month, because, you know, whatever happens, it might happen in the beginning of the following month. So my weight loss, you can see it month to month as opposed to week. And that's when it clicked for me that weight loss is different and unique for each individual. There are so many factors that come into play for each person. Like 2 people can be doing the same exact thing, and the results are going to look different on both of them.
Today is October 13th. Yay me. And as you can see, the scale's going back down. So just in case anybody thinks that I'm doing something wrong, I'm not. This is what my body does.
Good morning. Good morning. For anybody interested in a physical therapy update, I have been discharged after passing my reevaluation. However, I am still experiencing pain in my left hip and have issues with both of my legs. I do think it is connected to my left leg being shorter than the right, but that's now up to my physiatrist to decide. And I don't see him until November. Now, even though I am discharged from physical therapy, they have a program where you can pay $5 a session or $30 a month to use their facility and continue doing your physical therapy exercise program. So I decided to do that because towards the end of my time, that's when the physical therapist was adding more and more exercises to help strengthen my core. And they were really working, and I want to continue doing that. Also, the action of coming here to do the exercises holds me accountable to make sure that I continue doing them, because I have been lazy and I haven't been to the gym in 2 months.
I love how they keep her accountable, or at least she feels like they keep her accountable. I also love how she described that the physical therapists use baby steps and are starting to add more exercises. It challenges her, it creates more muscle, and it probably helps her with her weight loss.
The last time was before Disney, and I haven't been back since. However, in my defense, I didn't go back after Disney because I went into physical therapy. When it comes to the next weigh-in that I filmed on October 18th, prior to then, my weight had consistently stayed at 267.7 pounds. So I knew that at some point a drop was about to happen. And lo and behold, it happened. From 316 pounds to 265.4 pounds, I officially lost 50.6 pounds. That meant that for the first time in my life, with consistent effort, I lost 50 pounds. I honestly can't put into words how I'm feeling right now, because it doesn't feel real. I really don't know how to express what I'm feeling right now. Like, it's a milestone that I finally reached, and I'm happy about it, but the journey isn't over, the work isn't over. I just move on to the next milestone.
Karen, calm down.
What's funny is that for the past handful of weeks, my fitness pal kept telling me that, you know, if I ate every single day like I am right now, my weight will be under 260 pounds in 5 weeks. And according to my calculations, that's around October 23rd. Today's October 18th, and I finally got to like 265.4. Is that what I reached? So even below 266, which is wild. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to get below 260 pounds by October 23rd. But hey, who knows? A miracle might happen. I highly doubt it, but it's just so funny that my fitness pal would tell me that. And this is where I'm at right now by October 18th. As for my next milestone, it's something that I have been wanting to achieve for a very long time, and that is to get my weight below 250 pounds, because once my weight went above that point, I've never been able to get it below 250. I came close one time. I think 251 pounds was the lowest I've gotten, but my weight would just go back up, you know, balloon up, bounce up and down. So my hope is to get my weight below 250 pounds and keep it there. So that is the next milestone that I am determined to achieve. And that's going to take some time. It's not going to take a month. It's not going to take a couple months. But yeah, I'm going to be more excited about that. I promise you. October has been quite the month. But I hope my video gives some comfort to any of you out there who are working on losing weight, and maybe you feel frustrated because you don't think the results are coming as fast as you had hoped, and you feel like you're doing all the work for nothing. Just stick at it. Keep patient, because our bodies like to mess with us. And I did read in some science articles a few years ago that our body will hold on to our weight when it senses that we're losing weight. Seriously, patience and continuing to do what you're doing, as long as you're being honest with yourself, the results will happen. They will show up. They just might not show up when you want them to.
What a wonderful message. Guys, if you want to subscribe to Karen, check out her channel. It's called Karen-esque, and she's obviously still taking part in her weight loss journey. This particular video, I believe, is only 6 or 7 months old. So if you want to check out some of her latest stuff, I'll link it in the description. Guys, today is day number 1 of our next 90-day journey and challenge for walking. So if you're brand new, I'm so glad you're here. And if you've been here for a while, thank you for coming back. Why don't you guys grab your shoes? Let's go for a walk. Well, good morning and welcome to Walk Talk Vent. This is day 1 of our 90-day challenge. In case you're new to the channel, we just completed our first 90-day challenge. I was able to lose about 18 or 19 pounds. And if we went by my very first scale, then I probably lost even a couple pounds more. But just to be conservative, we'll say that I lost 18 pounds. And it was very, very easy to do in a not so easy sort of way. Let's talk about things. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Sunday. And I hope you're having a wonderful Father's Day out there. Happy Father's Day. Guys, I really am glad that I started this channel. It's been so nice to meet so many of you. And if you're brand new and today's your first day and you're walking, gosh, I'm really proud of you as well. Welcome to being a venter. Let's see if we can get you addicted. The first thing I need you to do is just start taking a food audit where you're going to write down all the foods that you eat. The one fun thing about walking is it only takes us about 2 or 3 weeks before you'll really start needing to walk. In other words, give me 1 or 2 weeks and we'll get you addicted to this. And I know it seems kind of crazy because it's kind of warm, but I wanted to talk with you about your job. Your job, you wake up every day, Monday through Friday for your job, right? Some of us even have a situation where we have to work on the weekends, right? Even on Sundays for some people, right? So what I want you to do is I want you to think about all the times that you couldn't work out because you had to work, right? And when you have to work, it's real easy to say, hey, I don't care what the workout is, I can't go, I have to work, I have to make money, right? So in the past, you've always been able to use family members and your job as an excuse not to work out. But in our plan, we walk. So it's very, very simple to do. And even if you're not able to do it before work in the morning, you should be able to do it after work in the afternoon. Or even if you have like a half hour to an hour for lunch each day at your work, you should be able to do a little walking at work as well. Our plan here is about walking, and we walk every single day. But Gigi, that sounds really tough. That doesn't sound very fun. Guys, if you're brand new to the channel, everybody thinks it's a little weird that we walk every single day at first. But once you start walking and you get a couple days under your belt, you'll realize it's the easiest thing in the world. And after a couple of weeks, you'll realize that you actually enjoy it. And I think that's the key to exercise and having a successful plan for the future. If you do something that is a little bit torturous and you don't really enjoy it at all, well, guess what? It's probably not going to work long term. So we have to find something that's relatively easy. And even though that might sound like a defeated statement, it's really true. We're not looking, especially somebody like me, I'm 47, right? So I'm closer to 50 than age 40. And a lot of people in my age group and older, we're not necessarily looking for something that makes life more challenging. We're looking for something that makes life more doable. And when you take a daily walk, not only does it slowly but surely help your physical aspect of your life, but real quickly you'll find that it helps your mental aspect of your life. So the first thing I'd like you to do again, and if this is your first day with us, I would love for you to be walking. But if you absolutely just don't feel like walking today, I can't force you. So how can I still make it where you'll ultimately want to walk? Well, your first couple days on this plan, we need to find out what you're eating. So I invite you to take a mental walk with us. Here's the reason I say us. When I first started my videos 90 days ago, I thought it was just going to be me, myself, and I, completely alone. I thought it would take me a year to get a handful of subs and even a handful of views, right? But some way, somehow I got lucky, and we have a lot of venters with us. So you're not alone, and a lot of our venters have still got quite a bit of weight that they want to lose, including myself. As a matter of fact, one of the things that I thought was going to happen during that first 90-day challenge is I thought I would lose 30 to 35 pounds. But I was off. I lost some weight. I lost some good, encouraging weight. It happened rather quickly because 3 months to me is, God, it's hardly any time at all. But at the same time, now we're dealing with new venters like yourself. So the question is, how the heck can we lose weight in a world that sucks? Well, in a world that sucks, we've got a lot of bills, so some of us can't afford a gym membership. So the nice thing about putting your shoes on and coming on a walk with me, my name's Jesse, by the way, is a lot of times we're able to do that and it doesn't cost us a single penny. And if you're like one of our venters named Mala and you decide to ditch your gym membership, well, guess what? Your new exercise routine just saved you 10 to 25 or 30 bucks a month, depending on how much the gym got you to pay for their membership. By the way, I'm not against gym memberships. I have a little gym membership myself, and I live in Arizona. So if there's any guy here or any girl here that can give a good excuse why they shouldn't be walking, especially this time of year, it's me. I have some physical ailments as well. The reason I started my first challenge is because I was coming off of a surgery, and that surgery had me a little blue, a little depressed, and it had me a little chunky too, because I gained about 15 or 20 pounds just recovering from my surgery. And before the surgery, I was kind of delving into some sweets and what have you. I wasn't necessarily going hardcore on water. I was drinking a lot of sweet tea, and basically I was about 5 to 10 pounds over the weight that I wanted to be before my surgery even happened. During my surgery, I started watching some YouTube videos on side effects people were having from weight loss surgery, Wegovy, and Ozempic. And the reason I was watching and diving into those videos is because my ex, the mother of my daughter, basically I found out through my daughter, had had weight loss surgery and was taking Wegovy on top of that. I've come to find out since then that she had a successful surgery, and even though she's had a couple side effects, she's ultimately been able to move on with her life in a positive way. She weighs much less now, and apparently, according to my daughter, she's doing good. So I'm happy for that. And if you're contemplating doing a surgery, I'm not against you during the surgery if it's something that you and your doctor feel you need to get done. However, if you're on the fence about that surgery, or if there's a piece of you that doesn't really like the idea of taking injectable medications for your weight loss, and ultimately you'd like to try something natural on your own, I urge you to give me 15 to 21 days. During that 15 to 21 days, we'll see if we can get you addicted to your daily walk, because I think you're going to love your daily walk if you give it a try. And then after 3 months, I think you'll have a good chance of losing apparently anywhere from 5 to maybe 25 pounds, okay? Maybe even a couple pounds more. Everybody's a little different. But here's the cool thing. As you get to the end of this 90-day journey, if you stick with it with us, I think what you'll find is that you'll start losing weight pretty nicely towards the end. Here's the problem with walking routines. I'm the only one out here. This is 7 in the morning. This is the time that if you're gonna try to beat the heat in Arizona, you need to be up and at 'em by 7 in the morning. If you get out here at 10, 11, 12, it's literally deadly to be on a walk, because at that point, it's already 110 degrees out, okay? So the main thing is nobody really enjoys working out except for that 1 in 100 person that's just kind of a crazy workout fiend. They do love it, but not everybody's them. I think we can agree on that. You have more than likely been starting and quitting diets and starting and quitting exercise plans for quite a few years of your life. This is that plan that's so easy to implement if you're willing to baby step into it. So again, if you're brand new and you're watching right now, or maybe some of you are watching it on TV and you've just walked in from the kitchen and your significant other's watching this, I want you guys to both contemplate the idea of walking with me. And if you do walk with me after 2 or 3 months, you'll start losing weight and you'll start wondering why you hadn't walked sooner. I think you're gonna love it. So again, today is the first day of our 90-day challenge. Now that I'm no longer 185, but I was 185 just a handful of videos back, but now that I'm 166, I've been losing weight like crazy, so I have a feeling I'm gonna drop the next 11 pounds pretty quickly, at least a lot quicker than people starting from day one. But you have to understand that's because I've already put the first 90 days in. So for you venters that are listening that have been with me since day one, some of you haven't quite lost the 15, 20, or 30 pounds just yet. But again, you've already put the groundwork in, okay? You've already got that first 90 days in, and some of you aren't quite to day 90. So again, if you're at day 60 or 70, rejoice, because this is where you're gonna start losing some weight. And again, new people, this is what I need you to understand. I think we all know how to walk. We've been doing it our whole lives, right? It's extremely easy and it works extremely well when you're trying to lose weight, with one little asterisk. It's actually a big asterisk. Guys, this is a plan that's not gonna work for you at all for the first 45 to 60 days. This is a plan that if you follow it to a T, you might actually gain a pound or two during the next 45 or 60 days. But you have to believe me when I tell you that usually from day 45 or day 60, somewhere in that area and on, you start to lose weight like crazy. I've gone on this journey 3 times in my life. One, I believe I was about 38 years old, another time when I was 42, and then of course 90 days ago I embarked on this journey for a 3rd time. Guys, here's the good news. I'm 3 for 3. All 3 times I did it, I was able to drop significant weight. The first 2 times that I had dropped weight, I told myself, gosh, I wish I would have done some sort of vlog so that I could have shared it with people. When I was going through my surgery and watching these videos on Wegovy and weight loss, I decided, hey, here's my opportunity to start a YouTube channel, lose weight right before people's eyes, and more importantly, ask them if they want to join me on the journey. So if you're willing to copy me and copy my strategies, I think you'll quickly find that I have the best weight loss plan in the world. Now, I'm biased, but here's the thing. People describe weight loss like it's some magic algebraic equation that they have to learn and find for themselves without the help of an algebra teacher, right? But the reality is we already know how to lose weight. So let me tell you how we lose weight. We stay active every single day. Now, if you listen to people that talk about going to the gym and starting a workout routine, there's absolutely nothing wrong with working out. And if we can baby step you to the point where you want to go to the gym and work out, that's wonderful, that's optimal. But the problem with working out is most workouts urge you to go to the gym 3 or 4 times a week, which means they also urge you to rest 3 or 4 times a week. The problem is, especially when you're new, the resting days where you're not at the gym are so much more enjoyable than the days where you actually have to wake up, drive yourself to the gym, go to the gym, try to work out for a decent amount of time, have to make sure that you're not stepping on toes in the gym because you're new and everybody's been there for a while, and you just don't want to cause waves. And by the way, if your reason for not going to the gym is you're afraid to annoy people, that's not a good reason. Go to the gym. You're not going to annoy them that much, and even if you did, you'll learn right away the etiquette of the gym, okay? But here's the thing. Every day that you're having a rest day from the gym is a day that could be your first day of quitting, right? In other words, you've been working out for 2 weeks, you're sore, you like it, you enjoy it, but then the football game comes on and you decide, well, today I'll take my day off. And then the next day you decide that after work you've had a tough struggle of a day, and I think you're just going to take another day off, and before you know it, you haven't been working out at the gym in weeks. So the way we combat that is not to work out less. Hey, good morning. The way we combat that is to work out more. And here's the cool thing. Our workout is not about building up muscles and breaking them down and taking days off so you can rest and grow. No, our plan is about working out 7 days a week. Ugh! But this is our workout. It's a walk. And guess what? I'm already halfway through the walk. So you've actually watched me talking and babbling to you while actually completing and doing one of my workouts. This is how venters work out. We put one foot in front of another, and we walk. And it has a very, very powerful effect. Is that all we do, Jesse? Is that all we do is walk? No. But for your first couple days, that's all I want you to do. Just walk. And where I'm walking for a half hour in the heat of the day, I would recommend that you actually start off small. Just do a 10 or 15 minute walk. And because we don't want your work or your family to be an excuse for you not to go to the gym, and we want you to work out every day, but without the gym in our case, I want you to basically start off your walk, ideally first thing in the morning before you go to work. If you get out the door at 7:30 to go to your job that starts at 8, like you always do, you usually get there a couple minutes before 8 and you start your shift, right? What I'd like you to do now is get out of your house at 7 and just take a 15-minute walk around the block real quick. Then when you get home, you take a glass of water, you guzzle it down real quick, maybe you eat your breakfast real quick before you leave, and you go to work like you normally would. What does this do, Jesse? Well, what this does is it creates an immediate situation where you don't need to schedule your walk. You know that your walk coincides with your daily trip to work. It's just a 15-minute walk before you get in your car. I also want you to basically keep in mind and write down all the foods and snacks that you're eating for this next week. And if you don't want to take paper to pen, right, because you're watching a YouTube video and you're not going to bust out paper and pen, that's okay. Just mentally think to yourself, how many meals do I eat a day? Do I have breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Yes. Do I occasionally have seconds on my dinner? Yes. Do I occasionally have 2 lunches or a brunch, in other words, a 4th or 5th meal? Yeah, I do. So take note of that. You eat on average 3.5 to 4 meals a day, okay? How many snacks do you eat between those meals? Do you have 0 snacks? Probably not, because if you had 0 snacks, I don't think you would be caring too much about a walking routine to lose weight, okay? So more than likely you were a lot like me, where you found yourself actually eating 3, 4, sometimes more snacks a day. Keep note of those. Are your snacks donuts? Are your snacks, Fig Newtons? Are your snacks granola bars? What are you snacking on? And note that, okay? That's all you have to do for the first week. Take a mental walk with me and write down the foods that you're eating. And if you want to start the physical part, I just want you to do a little 10 or 15 minute walk in the morning. All this is going to do is it's going to show you after 2 or 3 walks that it's really not that big of a deal to take a quick walk in the morning, okay? I found and discovered my philosophy for losing weight based on students back in the 80s and 90s when I grew up. Nowadays, in the morning before school, you hardly see any kids walking to school. All the parents drive them, right? And for whatever reason, you just don't see big groups of kids walking. But it was the exact opposite when I was a kid. When I was a kid, we would see groups of 10 or 15 kids walking to school from all different directions. And 99% of those kids were skinny as all heck. And that was grade school. But as we proceeded to junior high and high school, guys, the numbers were the same. As a matter of fact, when I was younger, we had a saying that Joey or Betty was high school skinny. Look how skinny Joey and Betty are. They look like they're high school skinny, right? I don't even think we have that term anymore because the kids nowadays are growing up obese. Jesse, what's the difference between the kids nowadays and the kids then? It's what I just told you. The kids back then had a daily 20-minute walk to and from school, in addition to their recesses where they would play flag or touch football or basketball, or sometimes the girls would play tetherball or 2-square or 4-square. By the way, Venters, if you were a 2-square or 4-square legend or a tetherball legend, let me know. Because I believe even those little 2-square movements, right, of bouncing the ball back and forth with a partner, and tetherball where you're hitting the ball on a rope around the pole, I think even those had significant impacts on our positive health, okay? A lot of times the overweight kids, when I was little, they wouldn't take part in those things. We would have a 1-mile run every year, if you remember, for PE. A lot of the bigger kids would walk. So that was their one experience with walking. They were walking at the worst of times when you're supposed to be jogging or running your mile, right? And they would be out there walking. Sorry, caught somebody working in the morning here. Let me just pass them and then we'll talk some more. So anyway, to get to what I was saying, when I was younger, the kids that were overweight seemed to be overweight for a reason, and it had nothing to do with medical reasons. It was actually just they didn't like moving and they didn't like being active. Was that the reason for 100%? No, of course not. Some people have thyroid issues. Some people have family members and situations that just make it where they're overweight. But that was the minority. And that was a small minority. To give you an idea, when I was growing up, the average classroom had about 25 students, right? And out of those 25 students, you're not going to believe this, but 23 of them were totally skinny. One was usually a medium-sized kid, and then one might be overweight and chubby, okay? I have a feeling nowadays it's not what the school looks like at all. I have a feeling out of a class of 30 students, you probably have 4 or 5 kids that are overweight
You probably have another 2 or 3 kids that are medium, and then you probably have another dozen or so kids that are still high school skinny, okay? So what I noticed is that once we, the kids that grew up walking, became adults, that's when we started gaining the freshman 15. Because instead of walking to school, now many of us had a car and we were driving ourselves to the campus and we were walking less and less. Many of us started getting married and raising families, and now that daily walk to and from school disappeared, and all of a sudden we're 30 years old. Guys, it was so hot out here in Arizona that I had to replace my battery super quick, and that was super quick. Usually I make it another 5 or 10 minutes before that happens. But back to what I was saying, guys, I believe students back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and obviously before that time as well, I believe we were predominantly walkers. And there was a small percentage of us that would ride our bike today, but I think we can all agree that even nowadays, or that would ride our bike back then, but I think we can all agree that even nowadays, riding your bicycle is a healthy habit that you should be into, okay? So even if you weren't a walker when you were a kid, if you rode your bike every day, that probably had some pretty good health benefits, and that was probably the reason why you were a real small, skinny, athletic kid as well. So what happens as we get older, we quit walking, we start gaining the freshman 15, we start making some good money and raising a family. Before you know it, we're eating sugary cereals and bacon and eggs constantly, right? Before we know it, we're eating fast food almost every day at lunch because we don't want to pack a healthy lunch. We want to eat on the go, right? We have lives to lead. So our philosophy is we're going to turn back the hands of time. We're going to go in the old walk, talk, vent time machine, and we're going to learn how to lose weight from not anybody but ourselves. What do you mean, Jesse? We're going to learn it from our 12-year-old version of ourselves. I think when all of us were 12 years old, we were about 5th or 6th grade. That's the time when usually our parents were totally okay with us walking to school. You know, when I was little, as scary as this sounds, we would walk to school as kindergartners and first graders, right? And a lot of times we would be walking to school with other kindergartners and first graders. So that might not fly in today's world, right? We're all very much aware of stranger danger. But back then, we had a lot of kids that would be called latchkey kids. We would literally have a key to our home that we would keep on a shoestring, tuck it in our shirt, wear it every day like a necklace. And that's how we got in and out of our door at the end of the school day because our parents were still at work, right? If you were a latchkey kid like I was, let me know. We didn't get raised by our cell phone and YouTubers and TikTokers. We were raised by Bugs Bunny and Scooby-Doo, you know, and cartoons. Those were our babysitters. So we're going to go back to that time because, believe it or not, even though that time might seem backwards to a modern day person, it was actually the real key to many of our health benefits that we kind of shut the door on. You know, back when I was growing up, we believed that your weight was something you were responsible for, and it was something that you yourself could fix. Nowadays, there's so much money in the game that doctors and experts seem to go out of their way to tell us how we're not capable of shit. And if you're not capable of anything, no wonder we need surgeries and medications to get better. But I'm going to tell you something. If you're listening to my words right now, and if you're willing to try this, then you've really made a huge discovery that I think a lot of our venters here can agree with. And venters, if you're listening to me now, put it in the comments, urge new people to join us, because we all know that if they can start walking just like we did as kids, they're going to start seeing some amazing health benefits, and it's going to happen quickly. Guys, I never would have guessed that the last 90 days of me carrying this 30-pound hammer, this 30-pound camera each and every day, I never thought it would go nearly as fast as it did. And in those 90 days, I was able to amass 400 plus venters. And now many of us are walking not 1 or 2 days a week, but 7 days a week. And would you believe it if I told you that a lot of us venters walk anywhere from 14 to 21 walks a week? Now, if you're brand new, you might be thinking, this is not the thing for me. I don't even want to go outside. You got to have faith and you got to trust me. This is going to really change your life, and it really is the easiest plan out there because it's something you can do forever. The reason walking works is because you'll notice I'm the only person out here. That's how we know it works. What the heck do you mean by that, Jesse? That means it doesn't work. No. When everybody's fat and nobody's gaining, and when everybody's gaining weight and they're overweight and they're fat and nobody's walking, that tells me that the reason they're overweight and fat is because nobody's outdoors walking. When I was little, everybody was outdoors walking to and from school, right? So in the morning, you're taking a morning walk to school. In the afternoon, you're taking that hot afternoon walk home. And that's why nobody was fat back in the day. Jesse, that's not true. There have been fat people forever. Yes, but guys, once again, the fat person used to be one person per classroom. Now it's closer to 5 or 6 people per classroom. There's something wrong about that picture, okay? So again, you're brand new. Don't get intimidated. We're not going to have you start with 3 or 4 walks a day. I just want you to do one 10 to 15 minute walk before work. And I also want you to write down what you're eating. What we're going to do is we're going to slowly but surely attack what you're eating, one drink at a time, okay? So you have 3 or 4 meals, you have 3 or 4 snacks. What I'd like to do is I'd like to find out what you're drinking during the day. If you're overweight, there's probably a good chance that you're drinking 2 or 3 soda pops a day. And I know I never mentioned this, but there are some people out there that are probably drinking a whole 2 liter of Diet Coke a day or a whole 2 liter of Pepsi a day, okay? You're drinking an excessive amount of calories, and it's no wonder that you're overweight. So if we can slowly but surely start to cut that back, and no, you don't have to cut it back here this first week. Again, your first week, just write down everything that you're eating so you consistently know what your diet looks like. What I urge you not to do is don't start telling yourself, I'm going to take this 90-day challenge on with Jesse and the Venters, and the way I'm going to do that today is I'm going to pig out and eat everything that I can this week so that I can start fresh on Monday. Guys, don't do that to yourself. Just eat what you normally do, okay? I'm not going to eliminate your foods just yet, so there's no need to do anything harsh or crazy or weird, okay? If you want to cheat and you want to see ahead, all you have to do is go in the time machine and go back a handful of videos, right? And you can see how we started at the beginning. Right now, I just want you to know the philosophy. We're going to copy the students, but not the modern day students. We're going to copy the students from 30 and 40 years ago when most of us Venters were growing up, okay? The Venters that are my age know what I'm talking about. We used to walk to school in droves, and every kid used to be skinny, predominantly speaking, okay? If you're one of those kids from the 80s that was never skinny, I still want you to join us, because I have a feeling the reason you were never skinny is because you probably weren't one of those walkers. You were probably one of the kids that your mom or dad drove you to school every day, or maybe you took the bus every day, right? You were the kid that when it was time to run a mile in PE class, you and the other kids that were a little overweight walked, right? Because back then the PE teacher would say, well, just walk fast, okay? We make it sound like everybody was cruel back in the day, but I don't remember the PE teachers getting too angry with the walkers. They were usually like, hey, just try to do a speed walk, do your best, okay? People have always been mean, but people have always been kind, okay? The reason you were overweight when you were little back in the 80s and 90s is probably because you didn't walk as much as the other kids. And keep in mind, even playtime was different. Do you guys remember back in the day, guys and girls would get on their bikes, pedal through the neighborhood, visit their friends, go play tag, go play touch football, go shoot hoops? What do kids do now? Now they talk to each other on their phone, they play video games, they don't go outside, nobody does, okay? It's almost like we've entered this bizarro world where nobody does anything, and then we wonder why we're overweight, and oh yeah, it's not our fault, we need a pill, we need a surgery. You don't need any of that, most likely. Are there people that do need that? Yes. And God bless the physicians and surgeons that make those things possible, and the scientists, of course. But at the same time, does anybody find it odd or weird how quick and easy doctors are to get people signed up for these surgeries and these medications? So yeah, on one hand, I'm glad they're there, right? If your doctor says you're going to die unless you get a surgery, thank God the surgery's there and available, right? But at the same time, I see so many men and women that are just 220 or 230 pounds, and they're taking injectable medications, and they're going on into surgeries. And I think I heard somewhere where like 1 out of every 200 people that take the surgery die in surgery. So it's not like it's something that's fun to go through. But if you have to absolutely do it, thank God it's there. But my thinking is, follow me for 15 to 21 days. It takes 15 or 21 days for the human person to kind of get addicted to something, or for it to become a part of their routine. By the way, I have family members that are extremely overweight. They want nothing to do with walking. So just know that I don't have magical words that can get people to get out of their house and walk. But if you know in your heart that you want to try something, then you are already supplying that magic. If you can get out of your house and walk, guys, we're going to do some magical things together, okay? And since I don't really believe in magic, we're going to do some tangible, good stuff together. We're going to go back to the way we were as kids. I have a feeling this word that people throw around, metabolism, the reason we were skinny when we were younger is because we had this amazing, fast, quick metabolism. I have a feeling that that's bull. And the reason I do is because how come that fast, quick, magical metabolism isn't helping kids anymore, right? All the kids are overweight. It's because if you're not active as a kid or you're not active as adults, you're gonna get fat. And I don't think that has much to do with your metabolism, period. And if we wanna speed up your metabolism, the best way we can do that is to get in shape anyway, okay? So we're gonna walk each and every day. We're gonna beat the heat by going out early. If you have a treadmill in your house and you wanna walk indoors, you can. If you think that you're gonna do this by putting on a Fitbit and walking from your desk at work to your toilet at work 4 or 5 times a day, guys, that's not really doing it. You gotta do a continuous walk. So if you're gonna try to do your steps at work, just do it at lunchtime. Do it where you can actually take a good 15 to 45-minute walk, because most of us can finish our meal at lunch in 15 or 20 minutes. Right now, I'd be willing to bet 3 or 4 days out of the week when you're at work, you're leaving the job at lunch to go to McDonald's or Wendy's or Chipotle or wherever the case might be. We're gonna work on that as well. So, if you're like me, I'm one of the venters here, because I'm a venter myself. I'm one of the venters here that not only have I lost weight, but guys, I haven't been eating fast food at all. So over this last 3 months, no joke, I probably saved about $150, maybe even more, just by eating normal meals without spending money at fast food, okay? If you go from drinking 5 or 6 sodas a day to cutting down to maybe 1 or 2, well, guess what? You're gonna start saving some money each month on your soda, okay? Water is usually free, but even if you buy bottled water, it's usually pretty inexpensive, okay? So we're gonna get to the point where we're drinking a lot of water, where we're walking a lot, and we're also gonna cut out a lot of sugar. But here's the good news, guys, we're not gonna do it on day one. On day one, I just want you to baby step with me, take a 10 to 15 minute walk. Venters, if you guys did this when you were brand new, where you actually started with a 15-minute walk, and now you're doing extra credit and walking an hour or more on most of the days of the week, let us know in the comments how you baby stepped your way up so other new people can see, okay? We also have about 15 of us here that walk every day and watch the show, but they only comment once in a blue moon. So even though you might see the same group of us every day that comment, I urge you to join us, because I promise you there's more people that are watching that don't necessarily comment. But I've had a lot of people say, Jesse, I've been walking with you for X amount of days. I'm down X amount of pounds. I love the show. Let's move on. I'm with you. And I'm hoping that that's you as well. So if you want a little sneak peek into what you're going to be dealing with, check out some of our older videos, okay? You can literally see how I went from chunky 185-pound me to my current 166-pound weight. And hopefully, in the next 90 days, we'll get you to that same point. We're going to talk a lot about strategy, but you want to know what our number one strategy is? Usually, I don't talk about weight at all on this morning walk. We usually talk about things that are going on around the world, because you want to get to the point where your exercise doesn't feel like exercise. You want to get to the point where it's just a part of your life, okay? So listen, believe it or not, that's how quick our first walk went. We're done. So I thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Venters, have a great day. Keep walking, and I'll see you tomorrow.